As a subscriber request, I'm doing a video series where I'm documenting my process start to finish on a project. I've actually decided to choose a short film that I've just been asked to shoot. So here I have the initial contact email that Susanna, the director, has sent me. She's just pretty much asking if I'd like to be involved and has given me some basic information. So some of the basic information that you'd be looking out for in these emails is the potential dates. Does it fit into your schedule? In this case, it does fit into my schedule. She is mentioning that it is quite a way away. They haven't got set dates yet, but we have been thinking about weekends, and I know that because she has mentioned that in the past, and that works really well with my schedule. Being a freelancer, it's kind of difficult to do things during the week because that's most likely when jobs are going to crop up. And if it's something like this, which is more of a passion project, and it's something that I'm not being paid for, then I'm going to want to do it on days where I'm least likely to get work. Also, considering it is quite a distance away, I can actually cater for that as well. I can make sure that I have enough paid work backed up that taking on a project that isn't paid is going to be okay. Which leads me on to, is it paid? Which obviously, from what I'm saying, it's not paid, but I'm actually getting a lot out of doing this project. Firstly, I get something for my reel, which is interesting and of an interesting style, and it's a creative project I like doing. I get to show what I can do in a creative setting, which sometimes can be very difficult to come by. These sort of jobs don't come along very often, so it's something I'm quite thankful to be involved in. But I also get to work with Susanna, and I've not worked with Suze before. Well, I have, but not in this capacity, so that will be really cool too. Next bit of information you have to look for is the style and whether it is something that you would be interested in. Now, to get that sort of information, you have to have a read over the script and the treatment or any supporting documentation so that you know exactly what's involved. And this is a really important step, and it's something you definitely should not skimp out on. You've got to read it over and over again and make sure that you understand the story and the concept and whether it is something that would interest you, because if it doesn't interest you, don't do it. There's no point in joining a project if it's something that you're not going to be interested in, you're not going to invest time in. You'll notice that people who do that, their work will suffer. You'll lose motivation quickly, and therefore you won't put as much effort into it as you probably should. Personally, I really like this story. I'm not going to mention too much about the story itself right now. That'll come in a later video, but I am going to mention that I really do like the story. I think it's a very unique way to tell this sort of story, and yeah, I think it's going to be really beautiful. It's very stylistic. The last bit of information that I look for is what's the budget, and Suze has actually laid this out really, really well. She's written every bit of information that I need initially in dot point form in the first emails. She's given me a budget for a camera and lens hire. She hasn't given me a figure in this email, but I have got a figure. I won't share it right now. We'll wait for a later video to do that in where it's appropriate, but right now I do know that figure, and it is a reasonable figure. Now, having that sort of knowledge of what the budget is really important in working out whether the style is going to be able to be achieved in the budget that's been given. Because if it's not, it may not be worth doing the project if you don't feel like you're going to get something out of it stylistically, and it may be time to reconsider being a part of the project. In this case, she's given me that information straight up front. It is on the lower end of the scale, but I definitely think we're able to do something with this sort of fund, and I'm very thankful that she's put the effort into thinking about what to shoot on and what sort of money would be involved to get the look that she's after. That's really, really good work on her part. There's a lot of projects that I've seen that don't necessarily put that information in or don't even think about the budget before coming up with the idea. And if you have this very grandiose idea about what you want, or very specific idea about what you want, you've got to make sure that you have the money to back that up. I know that you can get away with a lot in budget filmmaking, but this is something you really have to think about. If there is a specific style that you want, you have to know that if you don't have the money to get to that style, you may not get exactly what you're after. Once I've looked at that basic information, it's time to move on to getting ready for the first meeting. Now, before a meeting, I like to go through absolutely everything with a fine-tooth comb, read it multiple times, the script, the treatment, whatever's been handed to me, and write down my thoughts as they come to me, or any questions that might indicate a style choice, or any clarification that I need, which will help me with future decisions. I also listen to music at the same time, preferably soundtrack music that matches the mood of what I'm reading. Because if there's no lyrics, then there's not really any distraction. It's quite a nice way to get into the feeling of what you're reading. I don't do a full script breakdown when I'm reading the script. I have done a video on script breakdowns though, so I will leave that one linked up above so you can watch that. But in terms of this initial meeting, it's not necessary. I do recommend that you do go watch that video actually, because I'm not really going to cover it in this series just because it has been done before. Now you can obviously just jot this down on a piece of paper, you can write it in a notepad, you can print out the script, you can scroll all over it. I don't choose to do that because I'm really bad at keeping notes and I end up losing those pieces of paper and notebooks. So I end up using the iPad because it's all digital, I can keep it all in one place. That doesn't stop me from losing the iPad or the pencil, but still, I'm able to keep everything digitally, and if Suze needs a copy of it, I can send that to her. That's totally easy. Just transfer it via email and she can see exactly what I've written, instead of having to transcribe from a notebook and write that into an email. I find it easier, but you may not. It's up to you. After all of that, I like to look over the references that have been provided. Now, in terms of cinematic references, so films and things that Susanna has put aside as references for this film, she hasn't quite given me that information yet. I will probably ask her that in the meeting, or I might ask her beforehand if I really feel the need to watch the references before our initial meeting. But as long as I watch those references within this early part, this early stage of the pre-production, then that's okay. However, she has actually given quite a few images inside the pitch document, which she's shared with me here. And those images really do portray what I think the script should look like, which is really, really beautiful. It really gives me a good glimpse into what Susanna is imagining for this piece. And I think really kudos to her for doing such an interesting mood, look, and feel, which is exactly what she's written in this document here, about what she wants it to look like. I usually will study those quite closely and write notes on top of those too to indicate what I like about each image and whether that's something we can include in the final style. But that's really all you need to do before actually going for your initial meeting for a project, specifically a short film. It's not much, it's just enough to open the dialogue about style and actually get the ball rolling on the organization of the film. It's really not something to be stressed about. It's something that's actually really quite exciting. As a final note, I do want to mention that when you're doing these sort of projects, any project as a DP, and as an overarching comment in the process of a DP, it's collaborative. Don't think for a second that your specific ideas on style and how it's going to look is going to correlate exactly to what the director wants. You're working with the director, you're not the director yourself. So collaborate, don't dictate. So thank you very much for watching this video today. I know it's a really short one, but this is a really important step in the pre-production process. So I thought I would cover it before going any further with this project, just to keep you guys in the loop about it. And I really look forward to bringing you other videos in this series as well. So if you're really interested, please subscribe because they will be coming soon. It is going to be a long process. The film isn't being shot until January probably. We haven't really looked at dates very much yet. We've got to lock in a few things first, but that's kind of the time frame. So it is going to be a long running thing, but I'm going to go right from pre-production right now all the way through to post-production and show you the finished product when it is ready. Next up in the process, I'm going to talk about recce's. That will be a different video. I have done a video on recce's before, which I'll leave linked up above if you want to check that out, which I highly recommend you do. I do want to make this particular recce video a little bit different. Not sure how I'll do it yet, but we'll work it out. Susanna and I are also going to sit down together and work out the shots and how we formulate that from a director and a DP's point of view, about how we work together to collaborate on that particular aspect. So that'll be really interesting. It's going to be really cool collaborating with her. So please stay tuned and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.